Hey everyone, Dan here. Before we get into it, if you enjoy these videos, please hit the like and subscribe button and keep in mind that these are my own thoughts, opinions, and ideas. These are not meant to be, nor should you take them as investment or trading advice in any way, shape, or form. Do your own due diligence, put in the work for yourself, and make your decisions based on that. Enjoy. Alright folks, here we have your market close on Tuesday, September 12th. We're going to take a look at Mullen Automotive today. So MULN been on this really steep decline, and I guess today here it had some news acquiring battery pack production assets. So we'll see if that is enough of a catalyst to really cause any shift. We do see an interesting double bottom here from this candle. You see the wick came down about 39.01. It's really hard to see on there. But then the wick of this candle as well, and then it's been on a nice trajectory, nice motion since then. So can it sustain that? We'll see. It is also of note that it's shrugging off today through the wick and encapsulating then the body of the daily candle, this downtrend resistance that we had put on the chart that goes back. We had it originating all the way up here. We talked about this at least a couple videos ago or something last time that it hit it. But July 14th is where we have that originating, sort of reconfirmed early August, and then has done so again mid-August, late August, and now into September. So as I said previously, the most important thing is not necessarily any of the particular support and resistance levels at the moment. It is getting itself out from under the downtrend resistance. And even then, when it does so, what it does with it is super important, because it appeared, say here, that maybe it was going to try to sidestep its way out, but it just got sucked down really hard right back into it. So interested to see if it's able to muster anything over that level, what it can do if and when that happens. Now, otherwise, really interested in this 39.01 level, as it's, really recently potentially came to form a double bottom. But if that slips, then you're sort of in no man's land again. Now, if we look at the intraday to sort of see how these levels held up as the day progressed, it was really one of these sort of what I would call sad face days where, on its face, nice uptick on a 10% gain for the day. But what we can look and see what really happened was yesterday was battling this 47.47 level, shrugged it off, but did catch support at this 43.57. So these levels are holding up tremendously well, stretching just from one to the next, and then sort of inched its way up toward that 47.47 level again, getting into open today, and then just blew through it, but could not get any motion over that 52.69. You see it wicked off there, and it wicked off again there. So it confirmed that resistance, and then every attempt thereafter just fell even more short, and it just sort of bled into today. Into the close. And so it just sort of made this sad face. but I'm not going to, I'm not going to scoff at a 10% up day, but just to say that that's what the price action and the motion looked like as the day progressed. So whether that sort of continues into future days or near future days, I don't know, but that's just what it looks like to me. Now, things sort of like make additional sense when we take a look at the Think or Swim study here, where we had triggering candles on the TTM squeeze indicator in the pre-market hours, and then a big fire, and that resulted in this big motion up. And not only did it do the thing that we always look for when something gets out of the channel, right, escape the upper bound of the channel, we always look for it to draw back to the mid-range, and that's what it's doing right now with this candle. It's currently putting in after hours, but also made additional sense that it couldn't get any motion over this level, because this cloud that you see here, zoom back out a little bit, this cloud that you see here is the 180 to 200 EMA cloud coming in and providing some strong resistance. Okay, and right now that's probably, since it wicked off it like that today, and we see on the daily here on the Weeble chart how it wicked off the downtrend resistance that we have, those are probably situated in very similar positions at the moment. Now it might shift because this cloud is going to change with additional candles that are put in, whereas this downtrend resistance is not. It's just going to go away at some point when it's irrelevant. But it's sort of interesting that those are kind of coming together to provide this, maybe kind of blanket of resistance, pushing that price down. So I'm most interested at the moment to see what it does with this motion. Like I said, it's sort of sad-faced into close today, but it's also doing the thing that you'd sort of expect it to do, catching strong resistance off of the cloud, coming back into the channel, and retesting the mid-range. So what it does there is of unique importance. Let me see if we can find any examples in near past days. So here's an example here, well out of the channel, came down, tried to test it, lost it, and then did that again, right? But this is sort of the more impactful one. When it lost it for the second time, right? So it's out of the channel, came down to retest it, tried for several candles to hold it, but then when it really lost it, it pushed it all the way down toward, or maybe even to, the lower bound of the channel, and then it kind of got stuck, right? So then instead of batting itself from the upper bound to the middle and trying to hold the middle, it was batting itself from the lower bound to the middle, back toward the lower bound, back to the middle, back to the lower bound, and that's how you got this sort of incessant decline that we've seen. Now I know that that was largely catalyst and news driven and that sort of thing, but from a price action perspective, that's sort of what you were seeing. Very few stretches like this where it tried to get toward the upper bound of the channel, and then here you can see when it did, shrugged it off, and again lost support to that mid-range, which caused it to fall at the bottom of the channel, but came back up and retested the mid-range, but again got caught underneath. So that's why I say I'm most interested to see what does it do with this. You see, building off of yesterday, for example, it stretched out a little bit and came back and tested the mid-range, and it was able to ride it, right? It didn't lose support of that mid-range. And sometimes it can, like this, and quickly regain support, or maybe like this is a better example. So it's not to say that it can't dip below at all and still have some relatively soon upward motion, but it needs to regain it quickly, typically. But here you see it rode that as just clear support and then shifted that to the bullish cloud as support, and then it was able to get some nice upward motion and continuous push into the open today. So that's why this candle and then the next candles it puts in, as it is relative to the mid-range of this channel, are of unique importance to me. All right, folks, I hope that your trading week is off to a good start, and as always, I appreciate you watching, and I will see you in the next video.